On the outskirts of El Paso, Texas, on a dusty piece of ground, there is a small football pitch. This is the home to youth side EP Fusion. Luis Cavillo is the coach.
I think here in the borderland, we eat soccer. We breathe soccer. We do everything that has to do with soccer. Every day you will go out and you will play soccer for hours. You will go to sleep playing soccer.
Nice job, Emily. Good job.
The coaching staff wanted to take the team to Arizona for a tournament. A Walmart in the city allowed the team to hold a fundraiser outside one of their stores on August 3rd, 2019. Cavillo's daughter Emily was part of the team.
We're going on to a tournament that we were thinking about attending. We didn't have the correct sponsors at the moment, so we needed to raise money in order to pay for the traveling expenses and everything. So that was our first fundraiser.
Say hi, guys. Everybody here supporting the team.
Louis' family, including Emily and his father Jorge, were all part of the fundraiser.
Say hi, girls. Hi. All right. Tell them to come support. Tell everybody to come support. There you go. There you go.
We were all happy, smiles, cracking jokes, and asking the people to help us out with waters and chicharrones, and it just happened.
Charles 835. Charles 835. I am unlocated at the Walmart.
Just before 10:40 in the morning, a gunman began firing in the parking lot. A store manager witnessed the shootings. He told staff to help customers evacuate or hide. Cavillo was outside. He was shot 5 times.
I think in reality, everything happened so fast that by the time I realized that I had been shot, everything was done. Just prayed that my daughter was okay, that everyone was okay. Seems like a minute and a half to 2 minutes, they go by really fast when you're dying. Basically, the way I handled things was stay calm and try to go ahead and control my breathings and what I said, and not try to go ahead and spend much energy. That way I could save my life.
And there's a lot of room. I mean, there's a lot of space for the laundry room and everything. Okay, well.
Adria Gonzalez was born and raised in El Paso. She converts houses for a living. On August 3rd, 2019, Gonzalez went to Walmart with her mother.
We do see kids outside the Walmart.
Say hello, girls.
We didn't know what they were doing, what donation it was, but we knew that there were kids there and doing a fundraiser. We were around the meat section, and that's when we heard the gunshots. And my mother looks at me and she's like, "Oh, it's just fireworks." I knew. And I told my mother, and I looked at her, scared and worried. I told her, "Mom, those are not fireworks, those are gunshots." I went to the front, and I will never forget that morning. Bodies on the floor, blood everywhere. I went back slowly on the floor so he didn't see me, and I went to go get my mom, and my mom was just frozen. She didn't move, and I just was shaking her. I was like, "Mom, we have to go." I remembered that a lot of the meat guys would come out of those doors, so I knew that there was an exit there. So I pushed some people out of there, and then I got my cap and started yelling in Spanish, English, even saying bad words like "Vámonos, vámonos, por acá," and everybody was following me to which way to go. I did see him, and he was just walking like nothing mattered to him, like he was not thinking. And I remember his harsh words against us Mexicans, the F word Mexicans, and just shooting.
Guillermo Glenn is a local civil rights activist in El Paso. He was at the back of the store when the shooting started.
I heard really loud noise, and I thought something big fell. When I got up to the front, saw all the blood, a couple of bodies inside. You could tell they'd been shot really bad.
In all, 23 people were killed. All of the EP Fusion girls managed to escape, but one of the coaches, Mimo Garcia, was among those that died, along with Luis Calvillo's father, Jorge.
When I was in coma, in and out, they say somebody told me about my dad, and that somebody told me that my wife and my daughter were okay, but I just don't remember. But when I fully woke up after 14 days, I knew about my dad. Somehow I knew about my dad passing.
Those were my people. Those were mi gente that he killed.
Patrick Crusius was arrested shortly after the shooting and charged with capital murder. According to his arrest warrant, he told detectives that he had targeted Mexicans. Police say just before the shooting, Crusius published a manifesto online. Titled The Inconvenient Truth, the manifesto contained anti-Hispanic and anti-immigrant rhetoric.
Of course, I went into the internet and I read it, and it made me even more outraged, more angry, realizing that this was motivated in part by what Trump had been saying.
It was a killing that was directed towards people because of where they came from, because of the color of their skin, because of the language they spoke. We can't ignore the fact that we had a president at the time who called those who were fleeing to our border from Central America and Mexico invaders, who spoke in terms of an invasion. He used that word something like 500 times within a matter of a few months.
And then we saw the manifesto. And the manifesto mirrored words expressed and thoughts expressed by Trump, almost line by line. The invasion, the infestation, this idea of replacement, right? I mean, this theory of that there's an intention to replace white people in the United States. I mean, really extremist things. But I think many of the commonplaces on that manifesto, that is something that was coming from the White House. And at that moment, it was unavoidable to link it to Trump.
While the vast majority of people who accepted that narrative would never do something as violent as this, it's not difficult to understand how a person who begins to think this is an invasion and somehow they are taking over, and he also used the word criminals, and so on, for these families primarily that were coming across just trying to survive. And so you begin to think of them as a threat. And again, it's not much of a stretch to begin to say, I need to fight.
We were targeted because things were said, things that change the beliefs of someone, and he acted up on it. And unfortunately, it was against us.
I believe that it just depends on every human being's mind. Some have strong minds and some have weak minds. He has a weak mind. He had a weak mind. He wanted to follow some words that some people just said, and he got it. He got it because of his sick, weak mind.
For some, the attack in El Paso was also a warning of things to come.
You know, these people that stormed the Capitol on January the 6th are an example of what's out there in the country. This shooting illustrated in a terrible event how deep the hatred is and how the indoctrination has run deep in this country. And so there's no reason, logical reason to expect that this won't continue happening and get even worse.
This narrative that was attacking immigrants and people of color, now it turned attacking the institutions, democratic institutions. Hate represented not only a risk against people of color, but against the United States, of the way that we knew the United States was structured. In this case, the democratic structures were being now targeted by hate and white supremacy.
At a gun range in El Paso, business has soared since the attack.
For the past 2 years, 3 years since that happened, it's been nonstop. We've seen a lot of people come into the firearms community and never thought about owning a gun, but they saw the tragedy that happened and they understood that although they love law enforcement, they're not there 24/7, 365 to save the day.
In the aftermath of the attack, political leaders spoke publicly of addressing the issue with new gun laws. But last year, Texas passed permitless gun carry laws. It means anyone over the age of 21 can carry a gun in public without a license.
Unfortunately, as a result of the shooting, more people rushing to buy guns. During the pandemic, more people rushing to buy guns. And so we have such a proliferation of guns in this country. I mean, it's just in Texas, it's the Wild West. More guns is not going to make you safer. More guns is going to make you more unsafe.
It's not about people that carrying a gun just waiting for a gunfight. It's more that we would never want to have to live in a situation where you could have done something, you had the ability to do something, and you decided not to do something. I'd rather everybody have that same ability to defend themselves if necessary, utilizing the same tools, utensils that a criminal that would use against them, because the genie's already out of the bottle. You know, gunpowder was invented thousands of years ago, and you're not going to stop people from having access to guns.
Going to protest the anti-immigrant, the racist, and the white supremacist policies.
More relaxed gun laws combined with continued anti-immigrant rhetoric is a growing concern for the El Paso community.
We actually believe that the possibilities of an attack similar to August the 3rd on our community at Walmart, it is more possible now than even before that attack itself. And that is a very bad combination. When you have vitriol and hate and weapons, then things are not going to look, and probably we're going to learn the very hard way here in Texas.
Especially now that guns are accessible to just about anyone in the state of Texas, it's changed our lives. And we feel less safe, especially when people utilize that rhetoric And when politicians have still failed to cease from using that type of rhetoric, I don't think it's not productive, and I think it villainizes people like myself and people who are black and Asian and just different.
We're reaching a point in Texas saying, well, what's it going to take? I mean, we have to defend ourselves, you know. So how are we going to defend ourselves? That's the whole question.
They have to have a gun control. You have to have a permit. You have to know who's buying those weapons. We have to know. And those weapons, those military weapons, should not be on the streets. They should be with the military and only for the military, not on the streets. You have to understand what happened here in El Paso. We lost 23 lives. It's not a joke when you walk through that blood and you see those dead bodies from those seniors. That is not a joke. This is for real.
El Paso continues to rebuild following the traumatic events of 2019. Many here are worried that lessons are not being learned. In May this year, a white 18-year-old carried out an apparent hate attack at a supermarket in Buffalo, New York, killing 10 black people. He live-streamed the massacre that sent shockwaves through the US, further stoking racial tensions. While along the Texas border from El Paso, in Uvalde, a gunman shot and killed 19 school children and 2 teachers. It was the deadliest school shooting in a decade, and once again put the spotlight on gun control. The El Paso community has some suggestions for a way forward.
I think when you look at the name of our community, El Paso del Norte, the passage to the north, I think in many ways this could be a passage to a better way of life. I think a passage to healing and a passage to reform and a passage to togetherness, unity. I think we need a lot more unity in our country, a lot more unity in our politics. But I think that unity starts inside, and but I think El Paso can be a symbol for that.
People came together. People are still trying to recover from it. You hear the word resilience tossed around a lot. El Paso Strong said a lot. Welcoming said a lot. And all of it is an indication that people here, we're not cowed by this.
There has to be some kind of a realization in the community, you know, that we have to fight white supremacy.
Necesitado me encuentro, Señor. Ayúdame a ver, yo quiero saber lo que debo hacer.
Instead of hate, why can't we start loving people? Not putting that word more and more to hate, 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 hate. Hate in the news, hate in the newspaper. How about love? This love, 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 love.
Stop the hate. Stop the hate. Stop what we're doing. I think if we do that, we can become a better society. And I hope it does. I hope my children or my grandchildren get to see it one day. Because if we continue on going the same way, it's going to be very bad.
I had anger issues. At the beginning, I was like, why? Why did he do it? What was the issue? What did we do for him to do what he did? Hate is something that destroys people. It destroys their heart, their soul. Hate is something, a word that implies to take control of people's mind. And it hurts. It hurts when they kill your own people. It hurts when they destroy your own town. It hurts.
You forgive him?
You know, that's a tough question. I do. I feel sorry for him. Young man, weak soul, weak mind. The only one who could judge him is God, not me.
My left leg is entirely numb. It's painful on the bottom of my foot. I cannot bend my toes and cannot be standing for a long time. I don't hate him. I mean, I feel sorry for whatever life has for him. But I think he killed himself inside by doing that. He already knows what he did, but understand that it was wrong, and understand fully of how he was influenced. With me, we're good. Circumstances happen, and I can't let somebody change my feelings or try to influence the way I think. If he did that, he would have won the battle. So we're good.